Rounded nuts and bolts like this can be incredibly difficult to remove. There are a lot of variables when you do this. There are different grades of bolts. Some of them may be rusted in, some of them may be thread locked in. So there are quite a lot of different variables. Also, the nut could have been rounded off by somebody using a badly fitting spanner, or it could have been rounded off because it was just so tight. So there are quite a lot of variables. This video will hopefully help people out because I'm going to show you quite a few techniques on how to remove a rounded bolt like that. I'll just show you how bad this one is. This is the open end of a combination spanner, and you see if we try and undo that, it just won't grip at all because it has been so badly rounded off. If we try the ring end, absolutely no chance at all of that doing anything. The one thing you should always try and do with a rounded off nut or bolt is to apply some spray penetrant such as WD-40. If you spray this on, there's a good chance that it will actually loosen the thread slightly, and that will give you the best chance of getting it out. Another option is to apply some heat to the nut or the bolt using a blowtorch. The heat can make the bolt expand. When it contracts, it can then loosen the bond between the bolt and the threaded part or the nut. The first thing that I reach for when I get a rounded off nut or bolt are the grip tight sockets. I've actually had these for a couple of years, and this is the set that I have at home. I also have a set of these at work, and you would actually be surprised at how many people come to borrow these because they are very useful, they do work, and they can get you out of a lot of trouble. These have hardened steel pins on the inside that actually grip on the flats of a rounded off nut or bolt. Simply put the socket on the ratchet, locate it on the rounded off nut or bolt, and then you can very easily undo that. You can also try to grip the nut or the bolt with something that has a serrated set of teeth on it, such as these Stillsons, often called a pipe wrench, mole grips, or water pump pliers. Like I said, there are a lot of variables, and in some cases you will not be able to do it using these. Sometimes you're trying to work on machines that have moving parts, and when you try to get the rounded bolt off, all you're going to do is move the rounded part. So these will work in some instances. So we're going to have a go with the mole grips. To do this, you need to adjust them so that you get them as tight as possible. And that is now very tight, and if we try and undo that, there is a chance that we can undo this bolt. Once you've loosened it, you can then remove the bolt. We'll now try the water pump pliers. The good thing about these is the length of the handles. You do get quite a lot of leverage. And one of the best tools for removing rounded off bolts and nuts is a pair of Stillsons. These are designed to grip round objects such as pipes, etc. with the serrated teeth, so they are very good at gripping objects that are round. Another advantage of these is the length of them. These are 18 inches long. Simply put them on the bolt or the nut if you can get them on. Simply press down, and you can see that that quickly and easily undid that bolt. You can also use a cold chisel and a hammer. This is a very good technique, and you can generate a lot of force with this that will undo the majority of rounded off nuts or bolts. Even if they've been in there for donkey's years, you can still use this method. This is one of the best methods to remove anything like that, especially if it is stuck in there. Before we do this, we're going to put a pair of safety glasses on. We've then got the cold chisel and a decent hammer. All we need to do is take the chisel and get the point of it so that it's on the top of the bolt like so. You need to hit it so that it tries to spin the bolt out. We're not trying to shear a piece off the bolt, we're actually trying to move it round. So we're going to put the chisel in a position like that, then we're going to give it a good crack using the hammer. And as you could see, that then went, which has loosened it. And you can quite easily undo that. I've not actually come across a bolt yet that will not undo using that method. Another thing you can do is file a flat onto the bolt. You can see that we've got the adjustable there. If we try and undo that, it simply slips around because there are no flats on it. You can do this just by using a file. You can then take the file and you can start to file a flat on it. Sometimes filing a flat on will enable you to undo the nut or the bolt. Other times it won't work. And in this instance we've just been able to undo the bolt. And one of the best ways of removing a rounded bolt is to get a nut. Preferably you want one that is actually larger than the bolt head, but if you can't get one you can simply weld on a nut like so. You don't need to be a good welder to be able to do this. All you need to do is take a nut, preferably a plain nut. So that is not galvanised and it is not zinc plated. This is a very simple technique. Simply take the nut, place it on top of the bolt. But I'm going to take a welding electrode and we're going to weld in there. We're going to fill that up with molten metal. The heat generated from the welding process can also help to loosen the bolt. You can see that that is absolutely glowing red hot, and that should easily enable us to remove the bolt. In fact, the heat generated has loosened that considerably. Another advantage of using the welder is that you can remove things like this. That is a countersunk bolt and the centre has been rounded off. So the Allen key will not grip in that at all. All we need to do is take a nut. Again, you need a plain nut, not a coated one. Put that over the top. We'll just tap that in with the welder, fill that up with weld, and we should easily be able to remove that. We can then grip that with a pair of mole grips or a suitable spanner, and then we can easily remove the countersunk bolt. So that's it. I think I've just about covered every technique there that I often use on site. I do hope that this video has been helpful. If it has and you haven't done so already, please subscribe to the channel.